Once again, it's Yooo Kahavri, live and direct. Welcome to the literally Cars Photography Corner. I figure that it's been a while since we talked about what's really going on. So my last video I made about the D4, that's more of my outdoor camera because it's very hot in Texas. When I'm not shooting video, sports, things like that, I use a D4. But I want to talk to you today about my everyday carry. I am a primarily Fuji shooter. Like what you're seeing me record this on right now is my X-T2. I wanted to give y'all my new everyday carry. As you looked earlier on my channel, it was the X Pro 1. I was shooting that as my everyday camera. Like I said, it replaced my X100, the original OG. So from the X Pro 1, I moved to an X-T1. From an X-T1, I moved from an X-T2. From an X-T2, I went to the X-T4. But recently, the need to have a second camera body, you know, because this X-T4 is primarily my video camera, right? So every day I'm using the X-T2. Now recently, I got this lens right here, this Samyang 12mm f2.0. It's a native mount. This was handed to me by my father. Let me tell you about the X-T2. This camera right here, it was on my shelf for months, probably years. Because when I got the X-T2, I was like, hey, it's a hybrid camera, has a dedicated video button. Primarily just left that behind. I put batteries into this X-T2 and I totally forgot how great of a camera this is. Like absolutely lights out of a camera. Most of us need to stick with our gear a little bit longer than what society and the manufacturers are telling us to do, because you learn things about gear if you hold it over a certain amount of time and use it over a certain amount of time. I'm shooting with the X-T2. As I do, I added a button right here, one of these silver buttons. It just helps snap the photos a little bit better. I use manual focus with this as well. My favorite lens with this so far has been this Samyang 12mm f2.0. Now this lens has only been in my possession less than a month. Me shooting with this camera has been like, I don't know, I carry it everywhere I go with me. It's just absolutely incredible. What I really fell in love with the X-T2, this was about the time when Fuji started putting in the acros film simulations in here. When they started introducing the black and white, that's what I really moved me from my X Pro 1 to the X-T2, right, as my everyday carry. The speed in which this camera read out is just a little bit, it's much faster than the X Pro 1, of course. The X Pro 1 is still a phenomenal 16 megapixel, non-AIS, aliasing, I can't say it, lens, phenomenal camera. But what it is one of my children wanted a camera, so I had to come up off of something. And yes, I gave up my beloved X Pro 1 with my 23 f2 millimeter camera up as a starter camera for my daughter. I mean, it is what it is. Now, that could be a future third generation photographer, right? So my father, me, and now my daughter is getting into it too. So I was happy to give up for that. She really wanted one. She held out for about 2 years. So I bought this out, I charged it up, and then I started shooting with it. And I was like, man, why did I stop shooting with this? And I can tell you why. Because right before I bought the X-T4, I bought it brand new shit off the shelf. I ended up getting dust on the sensor of this camera, and it had a little black dot. I didn't know what it was, sand. I couldn't figure out what it was. Come to find out, it was just a simple sensor cleaning and bang. It was brand new. Shout out to my pops, because, I mean, he's a lifesaver. What can I say? He always saving me. So, but when I bought it out and I turned it on and I started firing and shooting it again, that love, that quickness. And what really turned me on was, like I said, those film simulations, shooting that acros with the yellow filter on it, getting that real punchy black and whites. It just really got me going to that level again. Not to mention that the faster readout speed that it does. Not to mention the wireless that I can basically look at the JPEGs directly from my phone and connect to it. So it makes it a great social media camera, right? A great social camera, a great camera at all overall. Yes, 24 megapixels, right? But a great, let me snap this, send it to my phone, post it real fast. It basically helps my storytelling throughout the day much quicker. Now, one thing that I have for this, and I love, like the flip out on the X-T4 is great, right? But I also love how this camera here, it flips out in this way where it comes out to flat. So I'm able to like shoot from the hip and manual focus, where a lot of people really realize what's going on and what I'm doing, because they just think I'm just looking down. And yeah, man, it just turned out to be so much better. But you know what's so crazy about this? I probably had this camera for about 4 years, right? 4 years. And anytime I ever wanted to shoot like vertical, I used to do this and like look around the corner like this, right? So this is why I said we need to stay with our gear a little bit longer than what we should. So I was paying attention one day and I would start looking on the side, and it was this switch here. It looked like a button. And I was like, man, this looks like a button. And I was in Dunkin' Donuts drinking coffee, and I was looking at this button on the side of it. So I decided to hit this switch, and I feel like this little springy motion. Look, see my finger going up? It's a springy motion here. I said, wow, this is springy motion here. So I flick this switch and I lift it up, and lo and behold, you can freaking shoot portraits from the hip. Look at this. You can shoot portraits from the hip. I was so blown away by this that I had it for so long, and I was using the lens, using the back screen like this, right? Flip down more like this, right? Flip down more like this. Just looking, trying to get it. And I was totally blown away that you could hit this button right here, and it flips out on the vertical. So now I could shoot vertical. Hey guys, stick with y'all gear a little bit longer before passing it up. Like, we have to start sticking with gear till we know the insides and outsides and take full advantage of everything that a camera does before we go on to the next, buy the new one. And it was so weird because here I am thinking of buying another Fuji of some kind, just to accompany my X-T4, when 2 years has gone by and this camera has been sitting on my shelf just waiting for me to discover the hidden treasures that it is once again. So, I mean, it's just phenomenal what happens, and we really stick with our gear. One thing that I have to say about the X-T2, if you're ever looking to buy it off the used market, I want to bring this up. Make sure you buy, I haven't seen the new batteries of the third-party batteries. Stick with the Fuji batteries. Stick with the Fuji branded batteries when buying these secondhand Fujis. Look, it looks all good and it's all great until you buy it. These batteries have a capacity to swell. Here, I'll show you. In fact, look at this. You can't really tell, but right here, this is the Wasabi. This is the Wasabi brand right here. And these batteries have a capacity, or these batteries have a tendency to swell. They'll get fat on you. And then when they get fat on you, they get stuck in the camera. When they get stuck in the camera, you flicking the battery release, and you have to find yourself banging and get it up. So yeah, I retired the ones that I could. And I only have one XT, let's say one WP 126 battery. I only have one of those Fuji batteries left. and which is an X-T2. Unfortunately for my daughter, that I got her the X Pro 1 and I had to give her one of those wasabi batteries, but I gave her two of my best ones. Two of my best ones. I make sure they were taken care of when I passed it on. So I'm just living with this, because also what this camera allowed me to do was, this is one of the XTs that let me USB charge on it. So I can just take a USB-A or a micro, whatever their name is, and I'm allowed to charge it with the battery in camera. Some people say you shouldn't do that. It could fry the motherboard, but I mean, people say you shouldn't take a bath while it's thunder and lightning too, right? You know, who knows if this stuff is true? And it's probably true, so don't take a bath while it's thunder and lightning, because I still got PTSD from my grandmother telling me that. So that's what I got for you today. Reliving and bringing to you the Fuji X-T2. Yes, it's still worth the buy today. It still shoots 4K. It's a dedicated switch that's on the dial. It's not like the X-T4 where you have a video mode and a camera mode. No, it doesn't have that, but it just has 4K. It has the video mode on the dial right here, spinning at the top. You still get the Fuji 3 dials or the ISO, shutter speed, and then exposure compensation. But I must say that this Samyang lens made in Korea 2.0, which this probably acts like a 20 millimeter. This is probably one of my favorite focal lengths as of right now. Again, and I'm just so happy and so thankful to have everything that I need right here. Like, I don't need to go out and buy anything. And that's what the internet, and that's what the gear posse makes you want to do. Make you want to go out and buy more and more and more and more gear. I say, get what you have, stick with it, work through it until you can absolutely definitively know that you need a new this, because I need this feature. That's all I got for y'all, man. Because being honest with you, we could sit here and go over the specs and different things like that. One of my favorite simulation modes, besides the Acros, is the Classic Chrome. Classic Chrome was on here, but I'm a good old-fashioned Velvia Vivid, because I shoot landscapes and sunrises and fishing. The point of this video was to talk about to shout out to Fuji for having this wonderful lineup of cameras that, if you're really into photography, spend under $1,000 and get something so wonderful. I grew up in the film era. I grew up using dials. I grew up using film, setting your ISO and getting it right in camera. There was no Photoshop. I grew up understanding that your aperture has to have a certain depth of it to get the depth of field that you need. I grew up shooting group photos at 5.6, not 2.0 or 1.0 like a lot of these cameras have nowadays. I grew up the focal length of your lens. You had to double that on the shutter speed dial. So if I shot with a 35, I was shooting it at least 125, right? Or you could say 60th of a second, but I always go to 125, right? If I shot something at let's say 135 millimeter, I would shoot that at 250, double the equivalency of the lens. I grew up like that. I mean, yes, you could see a notable difference with full screen, full frame, and crop sensors. Yes, but for the majority of people who want to capture memories, here you go. So thank you guys for tuning in to another one of these Yooo Kahavri, or you can call me KD, KAY-D. Keep it alive, your dreams, but remember, when you're in reality and you're awake, you gotta fight for them. See you when I see you. Peace.